Hello, it's Tuesday night. Welcome to Down with Dragons here on Monsters of Roll on Twitch. I am DM Scott. With me, as always,
Chris playing Theobald Blackstaff.
Mick playing Callan the Fool.
So, inspiration. I actually don't have any to give out, though
Oh.
I personally have inspiration I'd like to give out. I'd actually like to give inspiration specifically to you, Theobald, for last episode. With the skill challenge, as we were going through explaining everything, you had some really inventive using those old survival tactics and a good roll in a key moment, which definitely bought you guys time during the weather. And it was a well used history check, if I remember, history check to remember old tactics and things like that. And it's not often that history gets used in skill check challenges, and you used it really well. So I want to give you inspiration for that. I could have easily given you some as well, Callan, but you have too many. So yeah, no, I get it. So also, just to retouch on that, I'm going to bring a thing up, and I'm gonna try to be responsible and share my screen. Yep, I have to talk all of this out or my brain shuts down. For anyone who would like to send inspiration our players or DM way, Down with Dragons mailbag at gmail.com. In the subject line, just put inspiration and then just why you think somebody should get inspiration. Was it something funny? Was it something awesome? Just whatever was the moment that meant something to you. And then also, we previously had a coin pop out of someone's mouth.
Your profile again? That's
cool. we have a ever growing table of all the weird things that could come out of Callan's mouth. And so any ideas or additions to that table you would like to do, also send a Down with Dragons mailbag at gmail.com in the subject line, Callan's mouth. And I will be happy to add any crazy ideas that may pop into your head and what should pop out of his mouth. Right now, the main idea on the table is a baby, but I digress. So, last time on Down with Dragons, you were being pursued after you had broken ties with your friend Loon, who was following his own destiny now. The Peacemaker is taking on a high task of trying to bring peace to barbarian tribe of his former people. As you made your way and the weather turned for ill, you quickly realized that you were being followed. The woods seemed to have eyes. And over the course of several days, you were being chased. You only heard, really, the hunting horns of an orc band that is looking for its prey. Occasionally, through some high perception, you saw some strange movement in the distance, but nothing you could pinpoint to what it was, but something that definitely made you feel like, the hairs on the back of the neck were standing and pay attention, fight or flight, and you knowing where you were deep in the deadwoods and the amount of hostile enemies around, chose to flee and have been moving ever steadily east or southish east as the terrain and trying to fool pursuers required. And you made your way over difficult weather for days and days. until the weather finally started to turn. And it was on the 13th day of that travel that seemed like you were over a day ahead of your pursuers, though you could still hear in the distance to the north, to the south, definitely behind you to the west, closing in, still trying to tighten that net around you. And you arrived and saw a small little campsite. You had been notified through communication magically that there was someone coming to find you. Trust them. They are here to help you in some manner of ways, and that things are getting strange back in Dragonlock. Don't return yet. Things are uncertain. And you arrive in a slight hill going down towards a campfire, and two strange little gnomes there who tried to puff up their chest and show how brave they were as you approached, not knowing who you were. And a strange looking, very hooded with lots of like furs and things, rags and stuff like that, just heaped on top, and almost looks like a beehive of hair or leaves and sticks. And from this distance, it's hard to, looks like a heap of just furs and hair and twigs and leaves, hard to tell. And you were invited back to the fire by the two gnomes, even though it wasn't their fire, but they have invited you back to their fire. So that is where we're going to pick up, as you've just recently, as you were approaching, heard a hunting horn a little over a day away, roughly, and invited back to this campsite. The two gnomes walked back towards the fire, and Callan, Theo, there you are, standing there. A moment to quietly talk to each other if you want, or just join the fire. But this is where we will be picking up.
Callan, is this her? Or him, or who is this?
Hard to tell. We should ask, I guess.
Who are these two? You were talking with them for a while there.
Yep. They were a little skittish. So
Fair enough.
We just ask.
Theobald's going to be looking around. We figured the horns are about a day and a half normal travel.
Roughly. I mean,
Roughly.
if they knew, I mean, you would know it with all the survival checks that you guys were doing of trying to evade them.
Yeah.
If they knew exactly where you were and really just beeline, they could get to you in a matter of probably half a day. But because they are not 100%, because you have been trying to cover your tracks. It appears
that they're searching. Yeah.
Like they know the general area, and that's why they're kind of trying to close a net. They are in home field advantage and are just running their prey ragged.
Okay. And it's what time of day?
Right now, it is probably about 5-6 o'clock. Like it's getting into evening where you could still make more travel if you wanted to, but it's also a logical time to start looking for a place to rest as well.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
So are the gnomes still there, and the new person?
You're about like 60, 70 feet away, just kind of up the hill a little bit as they walk back to the fire, and they are sitting next to the fire. Looks like they're working on a pot of stew over the fire.
Does this look like anything more than an encampment for a temporary setup, or?
Roll me either a survival or an insight. Just if you're looking at the natural what's going on, or if you're looking at their body language, you tell me.
Either one of those would be a 17.
Okay. So body language, they look a little wary. They look tired, especially the gnomes. The figure that you can't see a lot of proportions to. Really hard to read. But evidence shows like this looks like a little fire that was set up. There is no horse carriage, things like that. This looks like literally somebody took some sticks and logs from around the area and has just made a fire. And now they are kind of have a like little propped up with sticks pot over the fire cooking, and they're adding, you know, some water, adding some vegetables, different things from the area, maybe things from their packs, and just trying to make some kind of stew.
Right.
All evidence points to very temporary. You know, this is just a little fire.
Right. I don't remember if we had any like strong indicators that this was the person we were looking for yet.
You had indications that this is the direction. Like you guys have been doing a lot of evading, going more south than east and all that. But then you got the message, or Theo got the message from Talsia saying, regardless, go east right now. This is the right timetable, but there's no guarantee. They're not wearing, I mean, right now, like, and that's the thing for members, there is an easy way. When you walk up, you can be like, show your mark. And if they show it, they are a member. But
All right. I mean, I would just unless Theo's got anything else, I would just saunter over and say, looks like you've got a pretty comfortable setup here. Do you have much dealings in the Deadwood?
the two gnomes kind of look at you. As I said, Chandler and Wiegand, they kind of just like, oh, well, passing through. Honestly, a little lost. But you know, yeah, it's nice enough. You know, we haven't had to deal with too many horrible things. We were trying to take a shortcut for trade, and you know, stumbled here in this little fire that was being built, and thought, hey, safety in numbers, right? Yeah, and the pink-haired Wiegand across the fire, who's like taking a spoon and sipping a little bit, and he's got a pack open with more ingredients and stuff. He just sips and he just kind of, you know, kind of, yeah.
Who's your friend?
Yeah.
They kind of, I'll be honest, we really hadn't gotten a name. She didn't seem overly talkative, but she gestured in a very positive way that we could sit by her fire, and she has yet to tell us to go away. So we're all here together.
And then how far away is the other figure from where we're talking to the gnomes?
They're right by the fire. She's probably within 3 feet of the fire, just kind of head of the table, kind of set up as you're approaching from one end of the table. She's at the other,
Okay.
even though there's no table.
All right, so she's in on the conversation basically.
Oh yeah, she like, and she's not looking up. Like it's just this mass, you know.
So Callan will just kind of spill it. We were headed east this way. We received a message from a friend to come meet somebody who would maybe help us find our way out of the Deadwood. And we also seem to find ourselves harried a bit by
one finger with like a very skinny, long, bony kind of green finger will just point up. And underneath all of this, you'll just hear, yes, scale-bound business. I was sent to deliver messages. Your contact is further east. I was in the area. And she takes off like, and at first you thought it was part of her, but it's like, it's literally like a mixture of like a beehive and hair and twigs. That's a hat. And she sets it off, and it is a fairly older, and Callan, your first instinct would be thinking of an old orc woman that you knew once upon a time, but very quickly you'll see the differences, but still the same kind of earthy look, you know, as she sets it off to the side and kind of lifts back this very thick, multi-layered furs and things, cloak. And she's an orc, and though she has the proportions of almost like a hag, of like she is very old. So a little bit like all of the joints are a little bit more pointy, and but yet she stands up very easily, and she's a good 6'3" height, and her hair is pulled back real tight and in a tight little bun with bones in the back, and it trails back into almost the spine of some kind of creature hanging back down her back. And she looks at all of you, or at both of you, and just pointing at you, Theobald. You're the soldier. And then points at you, Callan. You're the fool.
Yeah, Callan would kind of be a little stunned at what's before him, just because of the resemblance to someone from his early childhood, which was an old orc woman, much like that.
Yeah. She, like you being speechless, which by the way, Theo, you will probably be taken off guard. The fact of Callan is speechless.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting waiting for a comeback. And
Nothing?
Theobald would be bristling a little bit when she reveals herself, but
yeah. And she's like, pardon me. I am Lihun Sala. I am, as some call, a weird woman. Some call a sage. Some call a druid. I am from here, but I am of all of here. I am a friend of the one you seek. Maven is sorry she was unable to be here in timely enough fashion. Apparently you're kind of pointing directly at Callan where your tattoo is. Like, apparently your scale travel is a little difficult right now. And she kind of points to the northeast by east, still further that way. She hopefully should be coming soon, but I was closer, so she sent a messenger. And long finger, like, and here I am. Come, sit. Both of the gnomes are also just
Yeah, so Callan will be uncharacteristically quiet and really in awe of this figure.
give him another strange look, and I will actually go sit down.
I have to do the talking. What is going on?
Thank you for meeting us.
It was no problem. I was, like I said, in the area, and Maven is a dear friend. Always happy to help a friend in need. The Deadwoods are such a inhospitable place most of the time, and a friend in need is a friend indeed here.
Theobald's gonna sit cross-legged with the black staff across his knees, almost imitating one of Loon's kind of sitting stances.
Okay. You'll see her cock an eye like a dog that just heard something as she looks at you and then looks down. No need for that, Blackstaff. And then she'll look over at Callan. Lift your jaw, sweetie. It's impolite. I'm not as young as I once was, but I still can be tempted by a pretty face.
It's just you remind me of someone from the Deadwood.
Hopefully, a young, pretty lass.
No. I think another weird woman. Her name was Nima.
Ah, Nima, I have not heard that name in ages. How do you know Nima?
She's the closest thing I remember to a mother from my early childhood, and I I have a past here in the Deadwood. I don't know exactly where, but
Oh, um,
you remind me of her.
no, I was, I, I truly apologize. I found Nima almost 20 odd years back now. Um, they were that village she was doing. Ill begotten, I told her there would be no true peace in the Deadwood, but she was spirited, much younger than I now. But she was, as I believe you say, goblet half full type of woman. And unfortunately, I found what happened afterwards. I am not sure what happened, but I found Nima. I buried her, and many, many others. That was a sad, sad day, and I'm sorry if you were in some way attached to her and that settlement. What happened there was horrible.
Yes, it was. She was an amazing, powerful woman.
Oh yes, yes. She reached far beyond what the wise ones told her to reach for, but peace was well worth it, and she knew better. And always the brilliant and bright burn out the fastest, it seems. So us who follow the path more closely get to age and wither away and be forgotten.
Hmm. The path?
Oh, um, balance. Nature. Things live, things die. There's no true evil here, as horrible as the Deadwoods can be, and the fact that there are only horrible predators here. Nonetheless, there's a balance. Things eat each other, things live, things burn, so things grow. It is a balance, and we who are aware of it and hear the voices in the trees know to be wise not to push one way or the other. We follow the path.
Wise. There's that word again. Wise. Everybody locks themselves in a box in the pursuit of wisdom,
Oh
only to
no.
avoid learning.
Oh no, dear. It has nothing to do with locking yourself. It's freeing yourself to be understanding of the world works in ways that one individual can't possibly understand, let alone think they can control. All we can do is try to make our world better than we found it. That is all. And sometimes you have to choose which times you can affect positive change.
Well, you sound like you're doing good work.
Oh no, I'm an old, weird woman. I do nothing.
Don't sell yourself short.
And
You're a guidepost on our path, and that's no small thing.
she just kind of just bats at you and smiles, and she's like, "Oh, don't flatter me. I'm an old woman." So, you're both looking for Maven. You're both running, heading east, trying to get out of these godforsaken woods, which I call my home, but I understand. I hate the fact that this is my home, but home is where the heart is, and so I guess a withered black one like mine is happy here. So, who wants the present? Because I was given that.
Present.
Yes. She goes into her cloak, into the many folds of the fur, and pulls out immediately, Callan, Theo, you see a perfect metal box that looks like it's made from scraps with a crystal in the middle of it. And she's pulls out then a scrap of paper. Yes, this was delivered with the message to come find you. A Sally, your common names.
That's for you,
escape me.
Theobald.
The three that travel in the Deadwood, a half crew. How many are you? Are you halved? It says
No, we're the halfway crew.
Oh, that's
our name.
Far better. This is for you. Open me. And
That's
she kinda
definitely for you, Callan.
And she just, in her long fingers, kind of just holds it out towards all of you. Just,
I
I have the
remember
perfect representation.
saying-
Just, and everybody's so bashful. And she looks at all of you and she's like, and then looks at it. She's like, should I be worried about holding this?
No, we're just really weird about these things. Okay, Theobald, heads or tails?
Theobald's gonna shake his head. Heads.
Okay, so Callan will bring out the Terrafin coin and
Oh
flip
God,
it
no.
and see what it comes up.
Okay. So he says heads, and you go, okay, then I got tails.
Right?
Flip it. Shing, 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 shing. Lands. Tails.
Okay. 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 I take it.
Hey, by the way,
Yes.
just make a tick mark next to that coin.
Okay.
I don't know what this is, but I'm worried already.
Done.
So, Callan, you take the box,
Yes.
little shake in your hand. You're holding it.
How far away am I from him?
You're right next to him.
I'm gonna get up and go on the other side of the fire.
So you're coming
He's-
around to where Lahoon is?
Yes. I'll just kind of smile politely and
Yeah, and she'll look at you and be like, hello. Come. And she pats right next to her. Sit. You're handsome.
Okay, so Callan will examine the present.
Roll me an investigation check, sir.
18.
second reason that you got it, not me.
So as you start to look at it and just look around, even though it looks like it's scrap metal, there's no seam. How the heck does she do that? And then you kind of come to that crystal again, and you know a lot of things have to do with that crystal. And you're just like, and it opens up. And inside,
It will
all of a
probably jump a little
sudden,
bit.
the crystal shifts up and looks like a ballerina. Like the crystal changes shape, and you see a ballerina spinning, and you hear music, like somebody dancing.
Oh.
And then
Oh.
you see in each of these hinged corners, there's on one, there looks to be a crystal. In another, there's a crystal. In another, there's a necklace with a crystal that is the same color. One crystal in the necklace is red, and there is a bigger crystal that is red. The other one, another necklace in the other corner that is green, and the crystal is green, that is larger, and it just sits there.
I knew it was
With
for you.
the crystal in the middle that is just pure white, looks like a ballerina almost spinning, and just a little ding, 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 ding of just like music.
Hmm.
And you can see at the bottom all these gears that are spinning and moving and driving this little spinning dancer.
All right.
As it opens, yeah, Theo, even from across the fire, you.
All right.
Flinch. Can't help it.
So opening up and seeing that, and then the music's playing. Callan is not so scared of it anymore. Maybe he'll start tapping his toes and kind of just shaking and dancing while he brings out the necklaces to show to Theobald. What do you want, red or green?
Oh, how pretty.
Right?
She looks at kind of both of you and just like, well, they're presents. Aren't you going to put them on? I heard that quiver.
Be able to hold his hand out.
Yeah. All right.
I can stare down a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, no kidding.
you,
All right,
you
so
pick
Callan's still
Callan and I'll
kinda-
take the other one. It's just a big crystal. It's just like a big lump of crystal.
Yeah, one is like
One is on a necklace.
yeah,
and-
one's a small one that looks like any kind of if you go to any of those stores
Yep.
that have the crystals on it, you know.
Yep.
And the other one is probably the size of like
Coffee cup.
no,
Smaller?
yeah, like the miniature Gatorade bottles, like the real small ones where you buy the packs. Like it's real thin, but height wise, I mean, it's a little crystal, you know.
Okay. Superman.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Yep.
All right.
One
Got it.
green, one
Got
red.
it. Now I got my
Yep.
visual. All right.
Perfect. Why didn't I go there?
You pick Callan.
I pick. Okay. If Theo's got his, well, I'll take them both out, and then if Theo's got his hand out, I'll kind of try to, before he can react, dance behind him and just put one on him.
Roll me a dexterity check. Both of you oppose because I know you're gonna
Yeah.
have a knee-jerk reaction.
Yep.
Just
I'm gonna
dexterity.
add, acrobatics for you, advantage because you just sprung this on him. Acrobatics for Theobald, flat.
19.
Ooh.
Okay, 16.
So yeah, you kind of start to just and just come in like, whoa, no.
What? Look, it's just a necklace. Come on.
Yeah. Just hand it to me. I'll put it on
Okay.
after
Here you
you.
go.
After you.
All right. Yeah, and Callan will put his on first. I don't know.
Eyeball.
Which colors did we take? I don't know.
There was green and then there was red.
Okay.
So, seeing as you were handing, which one did you hand or try to put on Theobald? The red one or the green one?
The red one.
Okay. So, Theo, you now have the red necklace and the red crystal. You, Callan, have the green crystal and green necklace crystal.
Okay.
Can eyeball Lihunsala as well, and the gnomes.
Yeah, they are still speechless and just watching like they are watching the most like unknown yet thrilling movie they've ever seen of like he's scared of that for some reason. I know. I didn't see the beginning. Did you? It doesn't matter. It'll all come out in the backstory. Like Act 3 will reveal everything, you know?
Most entertainment they've had for days, probably.
Oh yeah, they're like, and Lahun Sala, she is kind of just smiling in a kind of quizzical, how the young play kind of look, you know.
Okay, so Alan will keep checking it out and see if we can figure anything out about it.
Okay, so you both put the
Okay.
necklaces on.
After he
green
puts it
one.
on, yes.
Callan,
Yeah.
did you put the necklace on?
I put the necklace on, yes, and I'm
Okay.
investigating
He
both the necklace
seems-
and
He
the
doesn't
crystal.
instantaneously combust.
Yep, he's looking at it, and he taps the crystal to it, and
Eh.
seems fine.
Maiden, guard my steps.
Oh, Theo, I love how scared you are of Silly. You're fine. You don't feel any different. There's no hum, there's no ticking, there's nothing. Your groin feels fine. Like nothing bad has happened. All
No
right.
hearing
No, everything
improvements.
nothing. You seem fine. The two gnomes will be like, well, that was anticlimactic.
Eh,
Yeah, stick around.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
there's an after show. And as he kind of just like with the blue hair, Chandler kind of gestures towards his brother. He's like finish the soup. It's missing ingredients. Just then you all of a sudden hear, and it hasn't been that long. The last one you heard at the top of the hill was probably day and a half away. To the straight north, you hear another horn. That one's closer. Like maybe 6 hours. And just and he just stops. He's like, what was that? What
Oh,
was that?
So we forgot to mention that we're pretty sure we're being pursued by large hunting parties of orcs, and Callan will like make the fire make a little show of orc hunting parties.
Roll me an intimidation check real quick. Whether you
Alright.
meant to or not.
14.
14. You'll see Chandler with his blue hair almost seems to stand a little straighter. And he's just like, we no time for special ingredients. It's time to go. We orcs, small, we go. And
You
he
got any
just
more of that
like,
stew?
and he's got a cutting board of all these chopped up things, and he's like, and then starts to pour them into his backpack. And Chandler's like, it's not finished. It should still be good. Have fun. And he, what direction is safe?
I advise east.
East. Which way is east?
Quickly.
That way. And they both gather the things and just within moments they gather all their limited things. They leave their pot behind. The stew is sitting there, and they both just peace out. And at a full sprint of two children into the woods are going east.
Hmm.
Do we
And
have any,
she's
do
like,
we have any rice left?
do you have rice left? by God, you do have rice.
I'll taste the
Yeah. Wait.
stew and see if we need
Wait.
putting rice in.
Did you have the rice or did
Loon has the rice.
Loon have the rice?
He's got
You do not have rice.
he's got
Right.
the cloak, the boots,
Yep.
and the rice.
Yep. Those be gone, baby.
Well, Callan's got root vegetables and salt and stuff.
Let's just taste it first and see what we need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't even probably had a hot meal for a while now. So
No,
I
you've
mean,
been
the last
eating
2-3
probably
days.
just dried rations on the
Yep.
move and sleeping in, ditches, kind of.
Yep.
So even if it doesn't taste great, I'm
Yep,
just
it's
gonna
hot.
roll. I'm gonna roll. Yeah, it doesn't taste great, but it's hot. I roll a 5. It's not great,
Oh,
but it's hot. Those ingredients that they had chopped up, God,
God.
those probably were important.
Oh
You
man.
basically have water, dried jerky, and maybe some like greens from literally around the area. Real flavor hasn't really been worried about yet.
Well, I'll here, maybe this will take the bite off of it and hand Theobald the flask. I was those guys were nice. I was hoping
6
they'd have
hours away.
a better idea
just-
of what to do.
Hand the flask back. It kind of give you a little bit of a head shake. We're gonna need our wits, Callan. Well, I'll need my wits.
Nothing
Ah,
makes me
yep.
wittier than this.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh yes, of course. How do you pronounce her name again? I'm sorry.
The Funsa.
Phonetically, to make it easy, it's LEHOONSALAH. Lihunsala.
Okay. Of course, I'll sit right next to her and offer her a drink. Yep, feeling just mighty comfortable once she asks for it to offer it.
Yeah, and she'll long fingers grab and take a little sip. Oh, and a real long pull. Oh, I haven't had that in a long time. Where did you get fire ale? And just takes another long pull.
Oh, help yourself. I think you'll find that it's
She's
Everything in balance and moderation.
I caught you there. Not quite.
Oh, you boys are full of lots of surprises. I'm so happy Maven talked to me.
You said Maven was northeast as Theobald's spooning gruel into his bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, she kind of points, and already there's just the slightest waver. And she's like, right, north. And then she points east. And then she's like, northeast by east. And she kind of just slightly tilts. And it's like, it's mostly east, but a little bit more north. And she's like, in that area. Last she spoke to me, which was 5 days ago.
Oh,
How far up?
so
She's looking at both,
Are-
you know.
are you going to be okay here
For what?
when the orc hunting parties come?
Oh, no. I am going to try to escort you out of here. You two are in far more danger than me. I am recognized by many of the clans.
Okay, we appreciate that.
I am happy. Though, if we are captured, I can only give you a chance. I can't guarantee your safety. They can be fickle.
We'll take it.
And she kind of, after looking around, she's like, I recommend we probably should start moving tonight if you have it within you.
Fair enough.
Sounds good.
And she'll, most excellent. Has everyone had their fill of the food?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. She's going to just tip it over and then just wave a hand and the fire goes out. We should start moving. And she looks at you, Callan. She's like, keep your flask close.
All
And she'll
right.
start moving.
Absolutely.
All right. I would like Theobald, make me a survival check real quick. With advantage because you have Lahoon with you.
Whew. That's
Ooh.
17 versus a natural 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say advantage? Yeah. You start moving. You are like into the night. She is using like, and as it's getting darker and both of you even start to be like, whether or not you talk about it or somebody starts to try to light a torch, she'll be like, oh, children, no, not tonight. We need to move quietly. We need to move quickly. And you see, just say a few words and then throw out a few things. Like you didn't see what it was. It's getting dark enough, but from her cloak throws out a few things. And all of a sudden you see all of these fireflies start to coalesce and make like an archway that is a tunnel leading. And as you start to walk through it, illuminating at least enough that you can see the ground in front of you. And about a foot after you've passed through it, the fireflies go out. It's just enough of like about a 10 feet tunnel of fireflies guiding your path so you can actually see. And she's like, hurry, come. Callan, or actually for both of you first, as you push into the night, it is getting late. You have been pushing yourself for days. Are you going to keep going? Or are you going to rest? You will suffer exhaustion if you keep going. But you also know you have all the motivation to keep going. Your call.
I would take my cue from Lee Hoon Sala.
This is the equivalent of the DM saying at a certain point she can see you guys are getting tired. And
Right.
is like, do you need time to rest? Or shall we keep going?
We can go maybe another hour further if we need to. If you know a place to rest. I'm going to put a hand on Kellen's shoulder, and I will cast Enhance Ability for Bear's Endurance.
Are you trying to do this casually or are you being blatant with it?
I'll be blatant with it.
Okay. So Bear's Endurance. So it should be an advantage to athletics
Target
checks.
Advantage on Constitution checks.
Oh,
Also
Constitution.
gains
Okay.
86 temporary hit points, which are lost on the spell ends, and it only lasts for an hour. But
It might help push a little bit.
yep, and do the same for myself.
Okay. Cast another spell doing that. She'll look at both of you and she's like, oh, good. There's nothing here for safety. Maybe further on. I can talk to the trees. Come, hurry. And you'll start moving. And man, this is like you could tell, especially like, actually, no, both of you have enough experience, whether it be from memory or from practical knowledge from all your years dealing with them. Orcs typically, like straight orcs, typically live to, in the best of circumstances, 150. Average 70. She looks like she's tipping that scale at 150 or more. And she is moving faster than you.
Ooh.
Though it does have a little of that creepy thing with like how those joints and everything of like, and you would very quickly, with your experience, whether it be folklore, stories, or just what you've dealt with in the last how long, she is a weird woman. She's a druid. She's one with this land. There might be something aiding her. She seems more agile than you, even though it does look a little odd the way she moves.
Hmm.
So you start moving another hour, 2 hours.
So Callan will throw out. I can dig another den if that'll help, and kind of describe what he can do to Lihun Sala.
See, at about that like 2 hour mark, after that bear's endurance starts to wear off, and you're starting to like, you have this
Like-
adrenaline high for a good hour of like, we are marching, this is what we do, this is what we train for, you know. And it starts to wear off, and you know, I can do some things to make us safe. And around that time you'll see her stop, and she's like, yes, what's that? Oh, looks at you, child. What do you think you can do to help?
I'll just show her by starting to dig a hole.
Oh, good. Oh, hold on. Cover that up. This way. Great Pine here has told me the best place to do this. And starts walking off of the direction where you were going. Like, you guys were heading very northeast, and now you're heading straight north, and then a little west. And then eventually she comes to a tree, and she's like, and taps it on the bark. And she's like, you're the one. Dig here. 20 feet or so down. As tight as you can. Think a badger hole. Can you do a badger hole?
Yes, I can do a badger hole, and he's gonna get right to it. And he'll keep talking. My sister Brunke, she could do this too. Have you ever seen this before?
As she's like, oh yes, many of us do things like this. I could do this, but I like other young ones to do it for me.
Okay.
As you don't actually want to dig, I don't want to cast that spell.
Right.
Within like 10, 15 feet, all of a sudden there is an opening, and it seems like there's a small little cave or den underneath this root structure of this tree. And she's like,
there's a cavity down here. Is this where I'm supposed to be?
She's like, yes, Great Oak said that there was a safe place here. Go in.
And he'll finish Bugs Bunny digging up everything, and then
It's
Okay, it's done.
a tight fit. You can basically water slide your way in. And it's about think a small room, but there's roots and all kinds of that. And once both of you go in, she's oh, Theo.
Theobald's very claustrophobic.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Callan, you go in. Obviously, you've dug it out and checking it out.
yeah, it's great. Come on in.
And she's standing next to. She's like, "Come on,
I'm
dear.
just sweating a little bit.
What's wrong?"
I'm not good in tight spaces.
Oh, it's only tight for the first little bit, and then you're completely covered in dirt. Just think of it this way. It's a small moment of not being able to move, and then the earth completely surrounding you safely after.
Stepping back.
Am I not helping?
No.
You're helping.
Roll me a constitution or a wisdom check first.
$19. Like a wisdom
Okay.
save.
Yeah, it would be a save. Yeah.
19.
You
Okay.
you can force yourself in there if you want. Like, you've got enough wherewithal to know the danger that is potential, that it's like, I don't like this,
Yep.
but I can do this. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
All right. He will walk up to the hole and take a deep breath and go in.
You're doing very well. Good job. You scooch in and you're down in the hole. Like I said, it's the size of, 10 by 10 area with roots and all that. It's dark. But very quickly, what Callan probably lights at least something, or makes light or,
Theobald's going to cast light on the you fumble and pull the metal plate that Loon made and cast light onto that.
Okay.
Just kind of grip it.
It actually shows light. Ooh, I got you, fly. Sorry. I have a hatred for flies more than most people. It has to do with my work. You sorry. You cast light, and instead of the normal light spell, you've done it before. This one gives off the most beautiful version of it, where it's like it's never too bright, but it is the best mood lighting that illuminates everything in this room in a soft glow. And there is almost a little bit of like, oh, that's the right kind of light for this, just whoo-sa. And then all of a sudden, this long jointed woman comes down the hole and she taps one of the roots and she's like, "Good night, sweetie. Thank you." And the roots shift, the earth changes, and now you are in a sealed dome. Roll me with advantage just because of what you casted light on everything. Another wisdom save.
13 this time.
That's still good enough. You're freaking out a little. That hole being shut
Yep.
is different than coming into a hole
Yep.
with a tunnel. You just like, okay, yep, that's a thing. And she
I'm
comes.
going to busy myself with taking some leather straps and strapping the metal plate to my forearm.
Yep,
Just
sure.
so
And
I
like I
can't
said,
even drop
it
it.
almost was made, looks like it would be attached like a belt buckle or a clasp or something like that. So there's spots where leather straps could easily go in. So yeah, you can fix
Yep.
it. Keeps your mind busy as you do that. And Lahoon kind of next to Callan just is like, is he going to be all right? Because I can knock him out for the night.
No. Just a little distressed. That's okay, I think.
Is he have problems with tight spaces?
Yes. I think
What
I'm going to help him.
What happened with that?
I don't know. That's his story.
She'll look over at you and just bluntly, as you're trying to distract yourself, sweetie, you seem to not like tight enclosed spaces, especially deep within the earth that is away from the sunlight. Why don't you like them?
Lee
It was,
Sala.
No, trust me, we have to work through this to have any kind of breakthrough.
It was a battle. We were in a mudslide. And it took him a day to dig us out again. Well, me.
Oh, so buried alive.
At least the ones that I remember, yeah.
She looks over at Callan and just like, I can understand why somebody would be afraid of enclosed spaces if they were literally buried alive, which right now, being here in this place would be very similar to being buried alive.
Yeah. That kind of stinks for him. Callan's going to start playing around with illusion and using minor image, make a peaceful forest scene, unlike the deadwood. Like this little den has a window now, and it's a nice, peaceful daytime forest scene with
Yeah,
birds
the
chirping.
roots grow around making like a windowsill, it seems like, and some flowers at the edges, and then just a peaceful landscape with the same time of day as now of there's twilight. You can see the potential in the next couple hours, daylight coming, starting to peak, but stars and constellations out. And she's like, "Oh, that's lovely. You two are such good friends. You're helping each other so he doesn't think of where he actually is. I'm still not helping. I'm going to sleep." And she'll just go over to a corner and just
She reminds me
you
of Master Agenor. Real helpful like that.
Oh, right. So, well, at that point, Callan would kind of feel around for his knotted rope, but also complement the scene with thaumaturgy and some relaxing meditation music.
Like a brook.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Some birds.
Babbling
River Vault,
Brook,
4 Seasons.
like the wood chimes in the wind, click, 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 you know. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very peaceful, very like Theobald, this is for more being able to shut down and go to sleep.
Thank you, Kellen.
Make me one more wisdom save with advantage, with especially everything he's doing. I almost want to give you advantage +2.
I got a 25.
Oh, through just you two kind of bantering a little bit back and forth and him just talking about
Mostly
like,
on Kellen probably at this point, but yes.
no, that's what I mean. You and Callan just like, and mostly Callan just being like, yeah, it's like, you know what my favorite part of night is like those times when all of a sudden you get those shooting stars and all of a sudden across the sky, some, you know, and it gets to a point, Theo, where you legit actually forget you're in a deep, dark hole buried alive and actually feel like you're looking out over a vista and kind of just lay down looking out until your eyes start to droop. Callan is staying awake, keeping this going until he starts to hear you sleep. Callan, you start to hear his breathing change and he's asleep. And you finally kind of release that energy, keeping that illusion going, and kind of just lean back because this took a little bit longer. It was a good, probably a couple hours. And you just kind of sit back and just, and you're just about to fall asleep when you hear a voice. "You two are best friends. It's so adorable."
You're not helping, Lihun Sala.
Lehun is fine, but you two are so different. But your purity is very similar. You have good souls, even if you've done things.
Okay. Callan probably doesn't know if he's hallucinating or not at this point.
Yeah. As you start to drift off, she's like, "Good night, fool. Hopefully we won't die tomorrow." The night passes. The day progresses. Who knows how long? You have been traveling for so long, for so far, and you are in a space that doesn't really tell time. You awake, and as you kind of wake up and just roll me a d20. Tell me who's higher.
Callan got a 16.
Theo?
12.
So, Callan, you wake up first. You kind of just, "Hello? like hello, and immediately like the fungus and things in the roots start to brighten up, and uncomfortably close to you, Lahoon is sitting right next to you and has arms around you. And she's like, "You looked cold. I've been waiting for you to wake up."
Oh, thank you.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
Would you like to know how our day is going to go?
You already know?
She picks up a rock and just holds it in front of you, and it starts to shift colors, and it turns green, and then it turns green, and then half of it almost looks like a sunrise is coming up in the stone. And she's like, "It's going to be a sunny day. Low humidity with the partially cloudy skies. Good for travel. It's about 10 a.m. right now." Yes, I went with a little bit of like weather bug forecasting, but it's Druidcraft, so back off.
Lehoon made a good alarm clock there. All right. Yeah,
How-
waking up.
Here, I borrowed your flask.
Oh, that's no problem at all. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Did you know it does multiple things? I wasn't
I
in
did.
the mood for fire ale when I woke up. Instead, I've got orcish brandy, which is excellent in the morning, and I haven't also had that in quite a few years. Excellent to start your day, especially when you're waiting for humans to wake up. Though, and she pops your nose a little bit, "You're not completely human." And then it's like, "Do we wake your friend up?"
Good question. Let me brighten it up in here a bit first.
Oh, yes, you should be. You know what? We could probably, and she just kind of makes a gesture, and like 10, instead of your real tight badger hole that she told you to make, it is literally a 10 by 10 easy walkway up, and there is the sunlight above shining down. That would probably help.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That's right. Callan is awake, up off the ground.
Yep. You just kind of shake him a little bit, and he wakes up and just immediately sees the sunlight, and it's like, yeah.
Horrible dream, Kellen.
So you make your way out of the badger hole.
I'll call an owl and see if owl's up there anywhere. And just a quick
Yeah,
look around.
It doesn't take long for Owl to ping you, and Owl basically took rest in literally the oak tree above, or the pine tree above you.
Is he aware of it? Is Owl aware of anything out and about?
Roll me a survival check.
That'd be a 2 plus a 6.
Owl was sleeping. Looks a little like you get that
It's
sensation.
daytime.
You get that sensation of like, dude, the sun came up. I went to sleep. You were out. I didn't know. You didn't give me orders. Like,
It's all right, Owl. It's all right. Yeah, I'll head
so
up.
I'm still really tired. If you could dismiss me, that'd be amazing. You know?
So Callan will ask Lehoon too, like, any idea where the orc hunting parties are? Or are we in the clear?
Oh, I have no idea. I only can tell the weather. And she walks out, and then you see her like hold out her hand, and a little bird comes flying. And the thing is birds here, like imagine like a robin, right? Robin. Make it a dire robin. So it has extra little weird tangly like spines coming off of its shoulders. Its beak is a little bit more jagged and
Serrated.
serrated. Yeah, serrated. And she's like, sweetie, can you let me know, is there a lot of gestures that are a lot of other orcs in the area? Because I have two pink skins that really need to know. And it just and just flies off. And she looks down at you. She's like, I'll find out in a minute. It's gonna tweet me back. I know I'm rolling with this one. So after a few moments, you both come out of the hole. You kind of look around. All of a sudden, like as you kind of done your stretches, ready to start moving, it is getting close to noon. Like I said, it's like 10:30 in the morning. You slept. You needed it. All of a sudden, that bird comes back, and she's like, "Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Oh, I only caught half of that. Only 25 characters. So, absolutely. They are within an hour of us in almost every direction. We probably need to rethink our strategy. They never stopped in the night. How do you two feel about trusting me?
Yeah. What should we do? Callan
Oh.
just is like, not even a second thought.
Okay. Theo?
The old just nod.
She was like, all right. Pointing at you, Callan, she's like, I need King's Crest flowers. They are a purplish flower and they have a bluish center to them. Could you go find those? Should be somewhere in the area. And then looking at you, hey, I need a honeycomb. Look for a beehive. I need you to get some honeycomb. I'll get started on the fire. And she'll just immediately start to, like, first off, she's clearing an area using magic and like the equivalent of like sweeping, you know. You two go off and start looking. Both of you
Okay.
roll me a survival check with advantage because you're in the right area anyway.
17.
20, dirty 20.
You both very quickly, whether or not some of you have an easier time than others, procuring these ingredients and bring them back. When you get back to where she is, there is a 20-foot radius around where she is making a fire pit and is getting a fire just starting to spark up and work up. And she's like, oh, good timing. And she reaches for your ingredients and sets them down. You can also see very quickly, especially you, Callan, there is very subtle spots without drawing in the dirt, but just spots. Like she takes an ingredient and sets it not in the fire, not next to the fire, but like in a certain location near her. There is almost, without having the chalk lines, the beginnings of a ritual being formed here. She takes out a few things from her pack. She takes out a skull of what looks like a raven and sets it down directly in front of her. She takes out this bone encrusted, why can't I think of the right word? You know how babies have rattles? And then think one that has a really ornamental, like bone carving with it. That's what makes the rattling. And there's a word for what that is.
Maraca?
It's close, but no. But either way, sure, bone maraca. She puts that in a certain. Hey, I'm not gonna worry about it. My brain is got a lot of things going on. Sets it down. She then pulls out this little looks like a sphere of clay and twists it and opens it, and there immediately is this very musky smell. Subtle, not crazy. And then she lights it on fire and it gets very strong. Like it's not unpleasant, but it is as strong as like a skunk spraying your car and sets that down. After she gets everything organized, she lights the fire and then places in different spots, very particular spots, like a ritual circle around the fire, all these objects. Then she kneels down at the head of the fire and starts to rock back and forth. And she starts to chant, Komdu, ach, sestu, vid, aldin, min. Komdu, ach, sestu, vid, elden, min. Very quickly, you'll hear in Orcish, come, please, and sit by my fire. Come, please, and sit by my fire. Over and over and over and over. And she's doing this real quiet, soft, and just Komdu, ach, sestu vid, elden, min, over and over and over. And she's just rocking in place.
How long have we been working on this? And they're about an hour away.
Hour and a half. You've been working on this for less than 30 minutes for sure.
I'll ask Al to be keeping a close eye out and around
Got
the area.
Callan?
Callan will be mesmerized by this scene. He would have wanted to offer any help he could with alchemy components, any of the stuff he found at Alan Dole, as far as like roots and such that he cultivated. But once she starts the ritual, he's kind of taken back in time.
Yeah, this would be
his
very
childhood.
reminiscent of things that like vaguely you can remember without context of just key moment of like something that was done. And yeah, like a child sitting not understanding why you're doing this. You're an adult sitting and not knowing why you're doing this, but the connection is so close, so tight there. And as she is rocking back and forth, and you're kind of like, are you standing? Are you sitting? Like where? Like at a certain point, as this goes on, what do you do?
Callan is standing. He probably, once the intensity goes, he's probably gone to his knees and sitting. In his mind, he's flashing backwards to a similar ritual with Nima from his enclave as a child that looked very similar, and then flashing forward to the present day. And it's just kind of a montage of those two images going back and forth in his mind.
After probably about 15-20 minutes after you've kind of had this wave of nostalgia and confliction of feelings and thoughts, and you kind of just start to come to your knees and sit, and she's rocking just still. Kumda, sesto, vid, elden, min. You're sitting in the wrong spot. Nima would have told you to sit across from me. Komdo.
He will hop right up and get right there to his post.
She looks. We are trying to ask for peaceful parley with the tribe. I am recognized by many tribes. They have to honor the ritual. Even if they want to kill us, they have to speak to us first. So we show ourselves openly and inviting. Please come sit by my fire. Talk to me. Let's palaver. And then she'll start to pick up that pace again and just Kamdo, Ach, sesto vid Elden mean, and trying to get you to understand the words, which is more than just saying, come sit by my fire. It is an open invitation of taking on host privileges of come sit. I guarantee safety by my fire. Please put aside your issues and come and talk to me. No promises asked, no requirements needed. Come sit by my fire. It is, and there's a part of you that it resonates as she is speaking to you and as getting you to try to do this. Something ancient that you didn't know was there in your bones of like, this is something sacred.
Is she urging me to join in with the chant, or
Very much. She is
Okay.
kind of trying, like, you definitely get that vibe of, roll me an insight, just real quick, just how much yeah.
15?
That's good. She is trying to teach you, but with a 15, you are just getting the vibe, just the hint of it, that she feels like there is an obligation that she needs to do this. It's not just for you because you have apparently some sort of history with Nima that she knew. There is something else there, that there's something tugging at her of, you haven't been taught as you were supposed to, and I'm going to start to pick some of that up. You know, like whether or not why, you have no idea, whether it's, you know, beyond that, but like you get the sense of like, she's not just teaching you to teach you because you might be interested. There's something else. There is a self-motivation there. What it is, how important it is, you don't know, but there's something. And enough that if you mispronounce a word, and this is more than just straight Orcish, there is a little bit of dialect in there where she's like, no, pronounce it like this, like you're saying it wrong.
Okay.
And
The
yeah,
old tongue.
yep.
So, yep. Just I will follow every cue and very immediately follow along. Try to learn as much as I can. This is a download of everything I've been seeking from my youth, as far as
Yeah.
Callan is concerned, and he's there. He's present in this process and shutting everything else out.
Yep. So as this goes on, repeating this chant back and forth, Theobald, what are you doing as Callan's now picking up this chanting with Lahoon?
He's guard. He's on guard. So
Roll me a
Checking.
perception check with advantage, seeing as you do have owl. No, I'm going to say flat. It's flat out day. And owl's tired.
the 15.
15. Okay. First hour goes by. Other than them chanting, not a lot. Second hour goes by. And Callan, by the way, if at any point you start to like, I don't know if he'd keep this up or whatever, let me know. 2 hours go by. 3 hours go by. It's midday.
I'll be
4
keeping
hours
an
go by.
eye on Callan as well, and just trying to see how he's holding up, and if he needs like a flask of water or something, or something ration to chew on. Just watching, not enforcing it on him, but
5 hours. 6
I'm-
hours.
I'm rolling to see if Callan would lose focus, but he's still in.
About 6 hours. You've now gone past like midday. You're getting into evening, like early evening. Roll me just a straight constitution check. I'm thinking your body objecting because you're still interested, because every now and then as this is going on, and if any time you're like, how long do we do this? And she'll be like, The sun rises, the sun sets, the moon rises, the
Right.
moon sets.
Starts looking around like
Just of like
what's happening
now,
here?"
later, who knows? You know.
But so the roll, Adam sent me a natural 20. Woo!
You're doing just fine. Physically, your mind is entrenched enough of this history that is resonating in you. Your body is taking a back seat to this. 6
Yes.
hours. 7 hours. Theo, roll me another roll. Perception.
Flat.
Advantage.
Okay.
It's starting to get into that twilight of like it's evening.
Yeah, 18.
18. There's movement out there. There are people around you. You can't see them. They're there though. Owl sees them. Many large forms. Just sitting. Watching. 9 hours. 10. 11.
I'll basically just call Owl down.
You know they're all around you at
Yep.
this point. Like the last time right before you call Owl, like you know there's no running away. They are everywhere. But they're just watching. Back and forth. And as you kind of you've been tense for a while of like, we need to do something more than just sit by a freaking fire, you know, and then it hits that point where it doesn't even matter, you know. As you do that, you'll hear this too, obviously. And she's like, they're only watching. They have to see if we're honest. And she'll then pick up the Kamdo. Ach, sister, vid, Elden, mean. Just saying it over and over. And then as she's like, be easy. Do not show aggression. I am promising them safe conversation. I am responsible for that. I am the host here. I will kill you if you jeopardize that. Kamdo. Ach, sister.
Theobald will find a spot.
Elden.
Does the tree appear to be out of the trunk of the tree appear to be out of her circle? I don't want to mess up her circle.
There's many trees around. She didn't do it right there. She found a clearing and opened that place.
Got it. So whatever the nearby tree or the tree that we slept under, whichever one, I'll go.
Which now is solid. There's no going
I'll
in. Yeah.
sit there back to the tree and I'll assume that one of the poses that I've seen Loon do again, the staff across my knees again, and just
Callan, roll me another
non-threatening
constitution check. And I'm going to give you advantage because you rolled that last nat 20. And like I said, she occasionally is both inspiring you as like you're about to ask a question or physically just gesturing. It's like, there's a reason for this. We do this because we're guaranteeing their thing. We're showing them that we are willing to do this as long as necessary to make them talk to us peacefully. We are showing that they are in control of the situation. Like just every time you're about to ask a question, she answers it.
Okay. So that was a dirty 20.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd expect Callan doesn't even know what she means by be calm and welcoming or whatever. So he's trying to act at this point.
Yeah, she's if anything been talking to you.
Yeah.
And he's taking cues from it, you know, of just like, okay, great. This sucks, you know, and the only thing he's doing is trusting you for trusting her and his experience in the Deadwood of he's heard of the weird things that the weird women can do. So the night goes on. Theo, do you sleep?
At this point, I would ask Owl to keep a watch and for if anybody enters and
just sitting up and
back and just try to doze a little bit.
Okay. With Callan's roll, he's good. He keeps going and just like his throat's getting a little hoarse, which almost adds to that grunt and that raspy. You just Kamdo, ach, Sesto, just it just resonates in these trees, these skeletal trees here in the Deadwood. Twilight, right before real light of the sun would start to come up. And the only breaks in this chanting that she has done is literally to stand and walk over to a pile of logs to throw more wood on and then re-pick up the chant, matching you, Callan. And then you hear loud someone banging on a tree with whether it be a stick or something. You hear rap, rap, rap. And then slowly walking towards the fire, just entering the light with the earliest hints of sunlight, a female orc walks up to the fire. She is got some gnarly scars. She has a bald head, long ears. She's got her entire upper lip section makes on one side this weird grin. What? You're pointing at things.
Trying to figure out how to point to my star.
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm not a weatherman. I don't have that.
Yeah, take your thing and just open up all of your upper jaw on one side. Like all of that. She's got those scars going back across. She's wearing furs, some very simple leathers, and is holding out 2 axes. Very jagged, brutal, serrated bladed axes. She holds them out and slowly walks to the fire. Within an uncomfortable distance, Callan, and sets them down next to the fire. Yeah.
Okay.
I am Kamdal. And she drops to one knee. May I sit by your fire? And as kind of all of this is happening, Callan, you have that kind of rush of like, hey, we're breaking up what we've been doing for the last 12 hours. You'll see Lahoon kind of with the slightest hint of a smile. And she'll look at you and then look to Kamdal, and she'll just, please sit by our fire. Take safety here and please talk to us. And she bows her head. I am happy to take safety by your fire. Let us talk. And she then very casually relaxes, sitting right next to you, Callan. And Lahoon just nods of like, we're relax,
Yeah. Yes. Kom du sestu vid Heldin min.
Precisely. Blackstaff. The scenery has changed. There is, as I said, a very scarred orcish woman, very slender but muscular, sitting very casually next to Callan, across the fire from you, though you're about 15 feet back against a tree. She, I am Kamdal. And she kind of bows.
Be able to get up, stretch, and step up towards the fire. And may I sit at the fire as well?
Lahoon just kind of, yes. I am the host, but you are here as well. You are under my care. All will be polite here. I guarantee it. And you see a very stern glance to Kamdal and a very stern glance to both of you of like, she means it. She is guaranteeing the peace. She is taking host privileges. Both of you are aware in at least a rudimentary way of like, that's an ancient idea, but yet when
It's a parlay.
it's like I'm responsible for this and I'll kill somebody who screws with it, you know?
Theobald would set the black staff behind him on the ground as he sits down.
And you'll see Lahoon will actually very happily kind of gesture and smile to you. Good. All weapons away. My friends have been trying to make their way east. You and yours have been pursuing them. We wish to see if there's a way we can move forward from here without hostility. Kamdal looks at both of you. Yes. You are our prey. I know not why, but I know the one of the dead staff. And then looks at you, Callan, and the one of the green past. Need to be found. I was not told to keep you alive or kill you, but found you needed to be. We were told of your arrival here, and we have been looking for you since. I'm so happy you all stopped and decided to let us catch up. You've been very elusive. And she looks at both of you, kind of, I'm going to flat insight check both of you. Oh, that was a good roll in the first one. That 20 on the second. She looks at both of you and she's like, you're both very clever. And then she looks at you, Theobald, and there is a cold in that look. You've dealt with my kind before. I don't like how, but we are talking.
We talk. You've dealt with my kind before as well.
Yes, you impose your ways upon us. Why would we not defend ourselves?
Theobald's not looking for a fight, so he's
Okay.
he's not expecting to take the lead on this conversation unless he's
No, that's
someone else
fine.
indicates he needs to. But
You.
I don't know what you mean about my green past, but
The green leaf.
I've been traveling
past.
with
I
green
can
leaf
s-
path.
I can smell it on you. You were one of the peaceful ones.
Okay.
And she looks at you and comes a little closer. She's not that far away. And she just sniffs you. You're not a pink skin. You're like me. Well, not completely.
So you're at least a little familiar with where I come from, even if I'm a little murky on it.
I've
As
heard.
far as my friend Theobald here, I've been traveling with him for a long time. I've had my own concerns about his past. I can assure you he's on a
Sorry.
different path right now.
it's all right, Kellen. We don't need to talk about that.
Oh, we know he is a murderer of our people. He's famous among us. Though only recently known as the Dead Staff. Before you were known as the Dead Arrow. You can see some legit hate right there, by the way.
Yep. Nope. Theobald is not expecting anything less. So he's kind of
Looking,
surprised. Kind of surprised that they know of him and that he had a name, but among them. But,
Looking back at Callan, you are of the Greenleaf people. They died. We were told of you, though why any of you would try to live between both worlds, especially when one is false.
I don't know.
You can't know. And she looks up at the sky and she's like, we have time to kill. I cannot speak for everything. And looks to Lahoon. My elder comes. Someone higher to speak on behalf of mine. I have to wait before more choices can be made. And Lahoon just kind of bows and smiles. She knows this can take time. Looks to both of you of just patience and like you can keep talking, but no defined things can be decided. Just talk. Is there any talk you'd like to do right now, or would you like to skip forward into the waiting period of who's immediately in charge of her comes?
I'm for skipping ahead.
Theobald's comfortable in
Okay.
being hated in silence. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and very much like
Callan
there's a
doesn't-
lot. What?
Callan doesn't really think he's going to get solid answers about what really happened.
So over the course of several hours, the night goes by. She even takes sleep at ease. Like at a certain point, she just, I'm going to sleep, and lays down. She has in no way moved towards her weapons. She is just, hey, she knows what right she has here and feels safe. At a certain point, Lahoon does also sleep, and you all can sleep as well if you'd like. Do people sleep?
Theobald will.
Okay.
Any break in the action seems to be as much of a point of non-current hostilities as he's going to get at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen next? So,
Okay.
yep, he would lay down, pull his
Okay.
cloak around him. What's his burnt, tattered cloak around him, and try to rest.
Okay. So y'all eventually take rest. Next morning arises, you all wake up. Kamdal actually for a short time leaves and comes back and brings a full boar and cooks it over your fire and shares with all of you, like openly, very calmly, and eats and just kind of just, yeah, it's good, right? Just very, chummy. Yeah, you're my enemy and I would kill you in a heartbeat. But hey, this is some good meat, right?
Callan, you got your flask.
Yep. I'd be happy to pass that around and offer other ingredients to add to whatever we're cooking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can improve the quality of the meat and the flavor. The flask is passed around. Kamdal is very much impressed and constantly is like, can I get that again? Like it's a very nice thing.
Theobald will just take a sip or two, but yes.
At a certain point, there is a very different sounding horn than you've heard, all the hunting horns and all that. It is a lot closer to like the trumpets of arrival.
Would I recognize this horn type?
Roll me a history check. Yes.
Oh, it was almost a natural 20 and then it flipped over to a 2.
Yes. No, I don't even. Yes. You know this horn. You've heard it before. Right
Yep.
before a hunting party came through a trap.
Okay.
And preceding this, like, group that is moving towards, and it's a large group. Leading it is a small half-orc child, probably 10 years old. Walks up towards your fire and does a very gracious bow. Can we seek refuge and safety by your fire?
Right? They can, right? Lihun? Is that
Lahoon
okay?
just kind of looks to you to like, what is your answer? And
Lu
kind of
tu vid, Eldin Min.
perfect. Yep. And another deep bow. And then this child walks over and sets down a few sticks that are very ornamentally carved. That at first, when they pull it out, you think they're almost like axes or some kind of weapon, but they're very ornamental with dangling feathers and things like that, and sets them up in like a tripod of like a teepee, and then starts to sing in an orcish song. And then all of a sudden, this little teepee turns into a small, little, tiny hut. One person, think, with a canvas of fur over the doorway. The figures walk forward, and very quickly, Loon, or not Loon, Theo.
Theo's
You
going to be
see-
getting more and more tense as this is going on.
You see, granted, this picture is not 100% accurate to what he's wearing. He has, looks like skins of furred skins over his shoulders. But you see an orc leading this group walk towards, look at all of you and bow his head, and then walk into the little hut, lifting the cover of the furs. Theo, you've seen him before. You know, when he killed you.
Yep. Theo's going to be very, very tense.
And then the child will then enter as well, and several other figures will go into this small little, like 5-foot square hut and enter in multiple, like a clown car, you know. And then Kamdal will stand. May I ask permission to extend your fire to our hut? And Lahoon kind of looks towards the hut. I am the host here. And Kamdal bows deeply. Yes. And she takes a stick from outside of the fire and lights the stick to light it like a torch. I bring your fire into our hut. You are the host. And Lahoon nods. And Kamdal takes the torch and goes into the hut, lifting the fur and going in. Lahoon kind of looks at you both. I have set the stage. I do not know what happens after here. But listen and refrain from hostility. And she will stand and walk into the hut, lifting the fur and going in.
Theold will loosen the bandolier with the Kopesh, sit that down, the short sword, the whip, the net. We'll take Heifer's knife out, and the leather thong around his neck, and think about it for a minute. And set that down on top of the pile. And the quiver. Callan.
Callan will follow suit. Just take his cloaks off, naked from the waist up. Let all his weapons and items.
Callan, this is Gardash.
You know each other.
This is the clan of the Bloody Fist. This is the chieftain who's uniting all the tribes. This is the man that my team was sent to kill. And it was an ambush. But they knew about it, and they ambushed us, and we all died, Kellen.
Oh,
And the maiden brought me back.
I see.
You see more than me. I don't understand, but I don't know how this is going to go, Kellen. You remember what we talked about a couple days ago?
Yep.
If you need to, you go.
But you don't need to go. We have the safety of Li Hun's circle.
She can't guarantee anything. She said it herself.
Oh, we
We
must
need
have
to take
something.
this meeting. We need to take this meeting, Colin, and we'll go from there. But I just want to let you know, he and I have a past. I don't know if he'll remember me or if I'm just one more dragoon that he cut down.
I don't know what that means either. This seems like I have a past with everything around here. So we don't know what to expect. So that means anything's possible.
Sure, Colin. All right. Clap him on the shoulder if we're nearby and head to the tent.
2 questions.
I think I got out of the weapons.
What about the black staff?
Blackstaff, where it's at.
With you?
On the ground where I set it behind me.
So you left everything.
Yep.
Okay. Second question, Callan.
Yes.
You said you were just kind of taking off stuff.
Yep.
Just in a very blanket statement, did you leave everything behind or did you keep things? And if you kept things, I want to know what things, because you're Callan.
I wouldn't think of the necklace as a weapon or the crystal.
It is not. Nope.
So,
But I'm talking
yep.
the monocle. It's like anything that is a noteworthy thing other than necklace, that is an ornamental thing. But like, I want to know,
Yep.
did you get rid of everything that was a thing or did you keep things, especially you?
Yep. I kept things. I kept the Terrafin coin. I kept
Okay.
the monocle. I kept the Capotane, which is his new hat.
Yep.
Other than that,
The flask.
Oh, for sure. The flask.
We need the
the
flask.
flask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gotta have
Parleying.
I'm pretty sure.
How can we have a
Kondo-
powwow?
Hey,
Yeah.
Get that flask. Get it. No. They're
Go
gonna
back
all
out and
want
get it and come back in.
Yep. So that's about it.
So otherwise, normal appearance of weaponry you've left behind.
Right. I didn't bring any weapons.
Yeah.
Any at all.
You both enter, and as you flip back that fur, it is a 50 by 50 foot hut. Yep. You walk in, there is a very there are 3 chairs next to a fire. South, west, east. And the north is almost identical chair, but just slightly more tall. Not a statement of a throne, but just a I am in control here. Like just the slightest difference in the height or size or just little detail of the chair. Otherwise, it is a fairly simple looking wooden chair that has furs to cushion them. They look very comfortable. One, though, which Gardash is sitting in, is just slightly larger, but he is pushing 7.5 feet tall, and he is made of nothing but muscle. Green skin, and on his chest is that bloodied fist that looks like it's dripping down, and it also, as you see, looks raised. So this might have been somehow, maybe they made a large sized brand that was burned into him, and now the paint was over top this raised skin. As he looks at all of you, he holds a skull of a human on the armrest, looking at both of you as you enter. I have joined your fire and made it part of my own. You are my host. Come, sit by our fire. And he looks towards Lahoon. Fool. And kind of looks to her to see if he said it right. And he said that in common, fool. And then kind of gets a nod. And then in Orcish, on very clear on purpose, dead arrow, sit next to me here. Or dead staff.
You asked for my name another time.
I remember. You were a worthy opponent. It was my honor to kill you, though. You did not stay dead, it appears.
Got bored waiting for you.
Mm.
Move towards the chair that he indicated.
Yep. And he looks very satisfied with your response. And as you go to the chair, Lahoon is sitting in the right chair. So Callan, you would be directly across from him, kind of north-south, and Theobald and Lahoon east-west.
Okay.
And he just gestures as you kind of take the empty chair. Fool. I have heard you are of the Green Leaf Path.
That's what I'm hearing too.
I knew Nima.
Yes.
Good woman. Close to my heart. It saddens me to know she died. I apologize for any hardship you've dealt with since being separated from your clan. It should not have been so. And kind of in just a furtive glance, looks at Theobald. Pink skins get in the way a lot of us. You should have been close to home all along.
Thank you for your consideration, Gardosh. I wouldn't be who I am today without the journey I've been on, though.
Journey is good. Tells who we are as our in our soul. Easy life, sad soul. Hard life, strong soul.
Yeah, you're right.
He kind of leans back a little bit and looks at all of you. So I assume you, and once again makes that eye contact with Theobald. Want to know why I pursue you now?
Yeah, yes. And if we could be on our way.
I do not know if you can be on your way. You are in my way again. And he looks at Theobald. I do not hate you. You are a worthy adversary. You are good warriors. But you are in my way. You serve false gods. I am doing what is required to free our people. You have been blinded by the dragons. They are not gods. And I am here to free you from that. And he looks directly at Theobald. You have served false gods and were in my way. Looks at Callan. You, unfortunately, were on the fringes of opposing sides and suffered the cost. Looking at Lahun, you knowingly let all things happen and chose the middle ground. Our people were good, honorable, strong, until the dragons came and killed and bloodied our tribes into this scattered, bloodied remains. But the bloodied fist of our people rise. No one will be in our way, and I will do what is necessary to free all of Karat from the tyranny of the false dragon gods. And that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you all for watching. Much more to come. Yeah, hope everybody enjoyed. Obviously, tune in next week, 7 p.m. here on Twitch, Monsters of Roll. Also, this episode will be on YouTube within the next rough 24 hours, provided no more glitches, no more technical difficulties. Also, look for new episodes of Dungeon Patrol. They are getting close to the end of this season. It's pretty getting there. And also any inspiration or what's in Callan's mouth, which, oh, Jesus, I was lacking. I got caught up in everything. No. Anything that's coming out of Callan's mouth.
Big money.
To that. Send that to downwithdragonsmailbag@gmail.com. Until next week.
Can we inspire a Callan roll? A Callan's mouth roll?
Yeah, you did. Oh, absolutely. With everyone be safe, be kind, be good to each other, and just, hey, 2020 be crazy. So just keep that in mind. Until next week, I'm DM Scott. Chris, Mick, we're having a great week.
Yes.
See you next week, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.